Hold on, you see that texture? You see that? Ooh, child, look at that. Y'all see that dressing? Look how moist that dressing is. Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Jamison, and this is how I cook. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and you're probably looking for a great dressing recipe. I'm gonna share with you my mother's dressing recipe with a twist of my own. Up next, Southern style dressing just in time for Thanksgiving on This Is How I Cook. Hey guys, before we get into these ingredients, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications. It's how you can help my channel grow, and it's how you say thank you to me for the great recipe. Southern style cornbread dressing starts with day-old cornbread. So here's a loaf of day-old cornbread that I baked last night. Also, because I know that this cornbread has a higher moisture content because it is so fresh, I'm going to use some toasted cornbread pieces. This is classically called cornbread stuffing, and this is made by Pepperidge Farm. You could take your cornbread and toast it out if you wanted to, and then you don't need this bag, but to save a little bit of time, I'm going to mix a little bit of this in with my fresh made cornbread from yesterday. Also, we've got diced up bell pepper, celery, and onion. We've got a can of cream of chicken with herbs. We've got some good old spices here. Herb de Provence. This is just a French blend of herbs and spices. Help punch up the flavor. And the star of Southern style dressing is sage. We've got some sage here, ground sage. Then we've got some other stuff, a little bit of garlic powder. We've got some salt. We've got some pepper. And we've got our friend, Mr. MSG, aka Accent. All these things are going to work together to help make our dressing. Also not pictured is we've got some smoked turkey that we've already shredded, and we've got some stock. We've got 4 cups of stock that I made when I made the smoked turkey. So with this day-old cornbread, the first thing we want to do is start by breaking this apart. You don't want to tear this down to each individual grain of cornbread, but you do want this torn apart. Especially pay attention to the edges of the cornbread. These brown edges, you want to break those apart nice. That's what we want right there. Next thing we're going to do is add a little bit of this toasted cornbread stuffing into this fresh cornbread. And we just want to mix it in just like that. So we set our cornbread aside, and now we're going to saute our vegetables. Starting by melting some butter. Then we're going to add in our vegetables. We're sauteing our vegetables to help break down the vegetables before we put it into the dressing. We want to add a pinch of salt. 2 pinches. Then we want to add some black pepper. Those are our vegetables sauteed down. So now what we want to do is we want to add in our vegetables back into our cornbread. Let's integrate and fold that into the cornbread. We're going to add in our cream of chicken with herbs. Fold that in. So next we're going to use our Herb de Provence. These are classic poultry seasonings as used in the French kitchen. Next we're going to use our ground sage. Sage is what gives dressing its distinctive flavor. And so I'm going to be fairly generous with this. Next thing I'm adding is some garlic powder. Come in here with my friend, Mr. MSG, a little bit of Accent. Now it's time to add in our turkey leg, nice and shredded. The recipe for how to do this turkey leg is also included down in the description. And so now I'm gonna start adding in my stock. So I'm gonna add in about half of it up front, and then I'm gonna see how much more I need. So that's about 2 cups worth of that stock that I made. The recipe and the directions for making that stock is down in the description. In my family, we like a moist dressing. And so you can see we're pretty moist right now with the dressing. Okay. So we're at a really good place. I put in 2 cups of stock to moisten the dressing. I'm gonna taste it for seasoning, and then I'm gonna adjust the moisture level one last time before I add in my egg. And then at that point, we're ready to put it into our baking dish. So we need a taste for seasoning. It's pretty good. I'm gonna add some more herbs. I'm gonna add a little bit more sage, and I'm gonna add a pinch of salt to help finish up the seasoning. You wanna make sure that you taste your dressing before you add the salt, because your stock that you make is gonna introduce sodium and salt into the dish. And so you wanna make sure that it's not too salty. You're also gonna have salt from the smoked turkey, and you wanna just taste everything before you put that final pinch of salt into your dressing. But we're so close, guys. You don't wanna miss this coming together. Pepper. Give me this pinch of salt. That's what your dressing texture should look like. That's about 3.5 cups of stock. Last thing we're gonna add in here is our 1 egg. So I get the egg nice and incorporated. And our dressing is ready for the oven. We want to take some butter and we want to apply it to our casserole dish. Make sure you get the bottom really good. Then get your sides. Now I know what you're thinking. Do you gotta take that excess butter out? No. That excess butter is gonna add flavor to our dressing. Leave it right on in there. You better not take that excess butter out. Don't you do it. Don't you take that excess butter out. And so now we take our dressing and we just spoon it out. Man, look at that dressing. You take a moment here and make sure you got a good amount in there. See how much you got. And we just want to take our time and spread this on out. And so I had some turkey left over here. So we kind of just want to get that in there. So our final step before putting this into the oven is to wrap it with aluminum foil. We wrapped it tight with aluminum foil to keep as much of our moisture into our dressing as possible, because like I said, I want a moist dressing. I don't want a dry dressing. So I got a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil just in case anything wants to spill out of this. So I'll take my casserole dish, set it there, and I take the whole thing here and slide into the oven. Okay, so we took our mixed up dressing and we put it into the oven for 45 minutes at 385. And I've wrapped it tight so that I keep in as much moisture as possible. What I'm gonna do at the end of 45 minutes is I'm gonna take that top off, the cover off, and I'm gonna see how my dressing looks. And if my dressing is where I want it to be in terms of the texture on the top and the color on the top, then I'll leave it right there. If you want a little bit more of a crispy top, so that you get a little bit of crunch at the top, but then you have that nice moist underside of the dressing, then what you can do is you can put this into your broiler for a little bit and get a nice browning on the top. So I think that's how I'm gonna finish my dressing. You guys don't wanna miss that bad boy come out the oven. Yes, sir. All right, guys, here is our dressing after 45 minutes. As you can see, the edge has set nicely, but it's still nice and moist. And so what we want is the inside of this to get a little bit more set. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go back in my oven for another 15 minutes with the dressing uncovered, and then we're gonna take another peek at it. And then we'll see if we wanna brown the top even more. And here is our beautiful Thanksgiving Southern style dressing with smoked turkey, show-stopping dressing. So normally I just go to the eating shot and then thank y'all for tuning in and tell you to subscribe. But look at this dressing, y'all. Look at this dressing. Fresh out the oven. Hold on, you see that texture? You see that? Ooh, child, look at that. Y'all see that dressing? Look how moist that dressing is. That's because I started with plenty of stock, and I baked it covered, and then I finished it uncovered. That's how you keep your dressing from drying out. Look at that dressing. You see that dressing? You see that? You see the gliss on that dressing? That dressing is moist. My goodness. Southern style dressing with smoked turkey. This, I can tell. You can hear it. It's not cakey. Let me get a spoon of this with some of that smoked turkey. Oh. Oh my goodness. It's not even Thanksgiving yet, but your Thanksgiving's gonna get a whole lot better if you make this dressing. First thing you notice is that there's a lot of herbs in this dressing. It's moist, it's not over seasoned, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's got this nice smoke, turkey flavor going through it. You can taste the sage, you can taste the Herb de Provence, you can taste the onions and the peppers and that celery. It's got a beautiful texture here and consistency. Guys, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, Merry Christmas if that's when you found this video. I'm Jamison, and this is how I cook. Hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. I really would appreciate your support of my channel, and I hope you hang around to see what else I cook.